Let's talk about one thing I don't miss about the city and one thing I at the same time kind of miss about the city. Obviously, I think living outside the city here in the countryside it is amazing. I mean, look at this. And now it is late September, almost October, and the weather is just amazing. It is so warm. I think this is like 20 degrees Celsius, which is very, very, very nice. It is so warm that I almost didn't wear any pants, but I'm trying to run a respectable operation here, so obviously I couldn't do that. But still, this is so nice, and this is one thing that is harder, or at least it's different in the city. I mean, when the weather is like this, I just open up my door and I'm outside. I'm on my own yard, I'm on my own property, and I can just, it is so calm here. I can just look around, maybe I read a book a little bit, and it's just, everything changes when you're outside. When you're inside, it is a different world, because we are attracted to either the TV or the social media or something like that. And how I feel it affects us, it kind of makes the world smaller, which is, I guess it's a little bit of a paradox, because you have all the possible entertainment and information out there that you can watch. But at least I notice when I spend longer times online, like a couple of hours, I just feel everything getting smaller and smaller. But here, fortunately, I can just open up my front door and go outside, and I'm like in this I'm like in this paradise in an instant. And if I had some anxiety, some worries, they fade away very fast. And obviously there's nothing stopping you going outside in the city. The process is very similar. You just open up the door and you're outside. But at least for me, I never found the yard of these apartment building complexes very attractive. I know there are people, usually I think there were families that were spending time outside on the apartment yard, and they had some chairs and tables there and even maybe a barbecue or something like that. But I just never felt I want to spend any time there, and because you can kind of feel all the windows are facing you, either your own building or the building next to you, or several of them. And the way they are building the city now, or the past 5 or 10 years, the buildings are so close to each other. There really isn't much space in between them or anywhere. Well, usually they leave one bigger park, and then the rest of the area is just apartment buildings. But in the city, I always felt that if you want to go out, you kind of have to go somewhere. You have to leave the proximity of your own house or your own home. And so that is it's like a small trouble that you have to go through, or it's a small issue you have to go through every time you want to go out. You kind of have to figure out, or where should you go. And if you want to stay close by your apartment, most likely there will be other people. And if you live, I used to live in this area in Helsinki where it is basically an island next to the city center, and so the ocean is very close, and in the summer you can go to the beach, which, well, I can't do that here because I'm surrounded by fields, but there's a lot of people there. The better the weather, the more there are people, right? So if you want to find a place where you can, really relax, you kind of have to put some effort into I mean, just time-wise, you have to go somewhere, and it will easily take you 10-15 minutes to find a place where you can be by yourself or and be calm. And maybe a lot of people don't need that, or they think they don't need that. I think everybody needs that. Now I can say that with certainty when I have been here 2 years. It's just I don't have to do anything, and that makes me happy. And if you think about that, how can you achieve that when you're living in the city? It is very hard, because being inside, even though you can try to relax there inside your apartment, I find that very, very hard. And I get that same feeling here if I spend too much time inside. It's like this, it's all the devices you have, basically all the entertainment you consume. For me, it's maybe an hour. If I spend an hour doing that might be fine. If I spend 2 hours doing that, then it's too much, and then I have to do something else. And here, luckily, it is very easy. I can just come outside, and in a minute or so, I'm feeling way, way better. And then if I want to do something, I have all these chores that I can do. I can chop some wood, I can paint something, I can mow the lawn here, and there are basically the jobs don't end here, but I like doing them. It also gives me joy, and so being here is, I think it's healthy, and just this very simple thing of being outside is just so much easier. Now, one thing I can admit here is that during the winter, life here is not so much different from living in the city, because you spend most of your time indoors. So I have this quite a large property that I have, but it is unused during the winter time, because it's cold or it's wet or both, so you don't really want to spend much time outside unless you have to. So during the winter time, the difference is much smaller, and my house is not a very big one, but here I obviously have more space than I did in my studio apartment in the city. So having more space inside is better. It's better for your mental health. I'm sure of that. So but there's that one thing that I actually liked in the city. Taking walks outside, especially during the autumn, early winter season, is kind of fun, because the evenings are dark, and then you can see the lights coming from all the different apartments and different windows, and you can kind of see people inside, just living. And here, if I'm gonna take a walk in the winter, it's gonna be kind of boring, and all the roads are gonna be covered in snow, and it's not very it's not fun. So here the winter can be quite tough, because it's very long here in Finland. And so I have been trying to think, what could I do during the winter that would enable me to be outside more, that I would have a comfortable spot here outside of my property that I could use. And unfortunately, I don't have anything of that sort yet, but there are plenty of options. I'm not flush with cash at the moment, so I would really much like to build this sorry, I don't know what the English word for it, but we call it. It's like a teepee, basically. I guess you can call it that, but like a modern one that you could have a barbecue in the middle, and then you have this structure around it, and that would be like. Those are so cool, and that would be perfect during the winter. You could, put out the fire and just, you're kind of outdoors, but then also you can get the place warm, and you could even barbecue there during the winter. So that would be really sweet. Maybe maybe some year, hopefully. But for now, I really don't have. I have my sauna outside, which is obviously fantastic, but you don't spend that much time there. I also have my new terrace. The old one was broken, so we built a new one on top of that. So I've been thinking of getting just some kind of chair and just warm blankets. If I just put on enough clothes and cover myself in a warm blanket, and get like hot tea besides me, then I could maybe spend 30 minutes, even an hour there, just reading or just watching the view. And that is something, maybe to wrap this video up, that is something I have learned here, that you don't have to do anything to be happy. You don't have to do anything to get rid of your anxiety. You just need a place to be, but that place needs to be outside. And to me, I had a couple of places in the city where I usually used to walk to, where I knew there were not a lot of people, and there might have even been a few benches there that I could just sit and be, and that was okay. But you're still in the city property. This is my property. It is different, and I feel secure here. I feel very comfortable here. I know nobody else. There's nobody else here. It is different, and I am so happy that I was able to purchase this property. I still have a mortgage, obviously, but it has been great. Maybe the best 2 years of my life, now that I think of it, because just overall, your happiness is not these peak moments you get now and then. It's a long-term thing that you have to try to maintain. And me maintaining my happiness here has been a lot easier than it was in the city, ever. And just this simple thing of being outside has probably enabled that, or made it possible for me. And I think I'm gonna wrap this here. It is end of September. The weather is it's actually perfect now outside, and I kind of wish we had more of this European weather where this would last long until Christmas or something like that. But unfortunately, it's gonna be a Finnish weather very soon. But I don't mind. I'm gonna spend more time indoors then, but that's how it goes. So I want to thank you for watching this. I really appreciate it, and I'll be seeing you again in the next one. Thank you very much, and bye bye.